sides by the Black Hills, you were finding carved animals of different types upon various stumps of trees that have obviously been cut down. You found a number of different sized animal skulls, but equally you also discovered there were a number of stone carvings, some carvings of animals in sandstone and some in pegmatite, including the bear that we talked about. By way of reminder, pegmatite is a local Black Hills stone that looks something like this. So it's kind of like a crystalline kind of thing, and you could see the various crystals had been kind of shaped around to create that view of the bear. Upon arriving down at the cabin's in an okay state. You went inside where you discovered that there was a number of there was a body, if I remember rightly, laid on the bed that then decided to get up and move about, followed by another body that kind of came out of the where Colt is currently, which is the sort of the workshop. One of these bodies is what you would know as a normal kind of Walking Dead type thing, but the other one is something that was odd, which you'd identified eventually as a patchwork man, a humanoid creature that had been made up with the amalgamation of different kinds of parts of bodies, flesh of bodies, and in this instance, a big swathe of it was quite hairy. And then at the same time, coming out of the forest, you heard the roar of a bear. There was, if you remember, there was a very distinct lack of animals and things that you could hear as you were coming down the valley. And when this bear came out, it was missing a whole raft of its skin down one side of its body, and clearly also undead. After a fairly interesting fight, I wouldn't say difficult fight, nobody died from memory. I think a few of you got a little bit pummeled. You had finished putting all these creatures down, and I think that was roughly where we left it, I believe.
Yeah, we searched the house afterwards, didn't we, just to find if they were
Correct.
the actual people.
Yeah, you found some interesting paperwork in the lab.
There's a trail leading off to the east, which we assumed was leading to the
mine, the claim
claim.
itself. Yes. Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're half expecting to find Mercia. Not Mercia.
Marcy.
Yeah, Marcia. Marcia.
Marcia.
How does it now?
Marcia. Yeah.
I can't remember. Was it this in the evening and we were resting first, or
Well, it's about 5 p.m. That's right. It's
yeah. The plan was
because of where you are, the sun has set below the hills, so it's actually quite dark in the valley now.
Yeah, the plan was to check this house and then rest.
Yeah.
But we ended up in an impromptu fight.
Yes.
It's Marcy
The thing
and
that
Robert.
you notice as you kind of walk the perimeter of the house is there are, again, a number of arrows stuck in various parts of the building. Kind of getting a use for this and kind of used to this, you sort of look at them, and most of them have just been stuck in with hand. Very few of them appear to have actually been fired into the wood with a bow, given the depth that they're very barely sticking into the wood itself.
Gotcha. Sounds like a nice little ploy to make sure things looks abandoned.
Yeah, it's worth taking the arrows out because they're all false, basically. So if anyone came to investigate it, oh yes, attacked by Indians. It wasn't.
Mm.
It's our neighbours in the next valley, we think.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
If we are resting here, I would definitely suggest watches after.
Oh, without a doubt. For that fight, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a sort of, after you've kind of finished scouting the hut out, making sure it's both safe and livable, there is a little bit of roof damage. There will be some repairs needed to make this a habitable place, but it's for the purposes of staying overnight, it's absolutely fine. When you kind of, whoever does the sort of the next kind of sweep around the outside of the building, you will notice and hear the distinct sounds of evening animal noises.
Oh, that's good, because there wasn't any when we came here first.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's back to natural state, hopefully.
It seems to be, yes.
Okay, split the watch into
There's a random
4,
door over
isn't
there.
it?
Why is there a random door over there? Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Dr. Newton is continuing to investigate the body and is also spending some time in the workshop. I think you found some bits of paper, didn't you? That seemed to be some kind of ritual that described partly burnt. According to my notes, they were partly burnt occult writings that seemed to describe a way of putting, so you're bringing life to some kind of fleshy mannequin.
That's right. Okay, well, I'll take the midnight watch, so I get a couple of hours in first.
Yeah.
I
don't
don't
mind
actually.
Bigfoot, to be honest.
I don't think Billy's on the map, which means Seaball probably can't see anything.
I was just going to say I can't see anything.
There we go. You should be able to now.
No, it's all black.
Is it? Ah. Now it's not.
It's not.
Should be in the cabin with us, shouldn't he?
He is in the cabin with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So spending the night, it's a decent enough evening, pleasant. Animal noises and things coming back kind of gives you that sense of, a little sense of security, that everything is, returning to normal here in the valley.
No, that is good. It means the Lord's work is bringing this place back to how it should be.
I don't know, you and your imaginary friends.
I say we check this trail, see if it does lead to the claim, see if we can find any trace of Marcia.
Can I just say to Soren Typhus in the group, close your window, your Google windows down, or whatever internet window you got open before you launch your camera.
I will give that a try.
Okay, mine's working, and I didn't do that with Firefox.
No, it did it with me on with Google on Saturday.
It's a Google thing. Awful browser.
I love it. It's a permissions thing.
It's a resource hog. That's the problem with Google. The only problem with Google, but it's a resource hog.
Yeah, so I've got everything closed down, and then I launch it in Discord, and then open everything up. which is why my camera was on at like 6:45.
Following morning, after waking, making a small fire, there is places where you can sort of set a fire inside the shack and sort of cook some food. You're kind of ready to move on and continue to explore in the area. There is a light drizzle though that is kind of falling outside, making this whole place just that little bit dreary, and that slight kind of mist that kind of appears due to the rain.
What was the plan of action? Were we going to go back to have a look at the town again?
Yeah, I think that is part of the idea, because they're an illegal claim. We're now legally allowed to be here. So that was the kind of excuse for us being around here. But since we're here, we
So-
might as well check.
Just to jog my memory, this is the shack of the couple who had the claim before we got ours.
Yeah, Marcy and Robert.
And we had a fight with some. Was it a bear?
Yeah.
A dead
some-
bear that was missing
yeah.
some flesh.
Yeah,
A
some
patch-
cobbled together bullshit and a patchwork man and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So to the
Same old,
east
same
of
old.
us, there's a trail that I think is leading to the actual claim.
Yeah.
And I think we should go and just check that Marcy is not there,
Yeah, check out the.
whether alive or dead, before we go on anymore, because you never know. She might be undead hanging about there, and we'll come back and we've got more to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Or possibly
So-
we'd have Tom Good.
That
Hello,
black
lady.
That black line kind of roughly represents the trail that's heading sort of out the back, and you think it's certainly heading in easterly direction towards the end of the valley that you're in. So traveling, following along the trail, it's a pretty well used trail. There's a couple of signs that a small wagon may be pushed along here now and then. There's certainly no sign of a wagon at the back of the shack. As you kind of continue sort of eastwards, it kind of bends a little bit towards the north, but eventually you can see that it comes indeed to a small cave entrance in the side of the. Ooh, where's it gone? A small cave entrance in the side of the hill. Nothing more than maybe a blasted opening with a wooden frame around it to try and keep the entranceway open.
This is supposed to transition into another map, but it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It just
Give
goes
me a
to
second.
a grey hex background. It's like I've walked into this new world.
You have.
Did you take the blue pill?
Give me a sec.
It's
30
all this
seconds.
whole things I do. I have these weird visions when I'm messing about with them.
It's one of these things that Newton decides to remain at the shack, continuing to investigate the means by which the patchwork man has been created. So let's take you to here. Hopefully this will work. I don't know. All right. You're stood at the entrance where I threw this together really quick so that there isn't where you're stood would be the grass in front of the cave entrance. A pale light is sort of the light wouldn't be there, would it? Hang on, let me turn the light off. There we go. The light is turned off. So no light is coming from inside. It is dark.
And I can still see.
I could see light coming from the outside in, but I couldn't see any light inside anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. You will do. It'll come in from the light out.
We're supposed to see him.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'm assuming he's dead.
So there appears to be a figure sprawled on the floor that you can make out as you kind of look inside this cave. The figure looks to be a woman, probably back laid on front. A shotgun appears to be just off one hand with an arm that's kind of reaching out towards it. But the figure itself is just motionless on the floor.
Okay, because that figure looks very male to me, but holding a cross. I thought it was
unfortunately, it is just the icon it was given, and I didn't have time to find a female Ham folk icon.
Okay, I'll head over to the body and check what's happened to it.
Okay. It appears to be the body, well, as I say, a youngish woman, maybe in her late 20s, early 30s, wearing typical kind of homespun clothing, the kind of clothing that you would expect sort of the wife of a pioneer to wear. Nearby, go on. Sorry.
Is she vegan?
No idea.
I don't know, homespun clothes, that sort of sandals.
Yeah, she's got little black laced up boots actually. Obviously there is a look of somewhat look of scared panic or something on the face, and the hand, as I say, is kind of reaching out towards a double barrel shotgun that is just a little bit out of reach.
Any signs of death?
No bullet holes, broken neck from Patrick Mann type of thing, or
chewed arm.
No bullet holes, but definitely the neck does appear to be bruised, or what's left of bruising. Its body appears to have been left here for a number of days, if not a number of weeks. So it's probably in quite a bad state.
Okay.
So there is a dampness about the cave.
I will move the shotgun away from the body.
Yeah, just in case it sits up and grabs hold of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Wouldn't be the weird thing that's happened.
Shotgun from around.
Looks like she was strangled.
Okay. Heading over, there is a lone sort of hand cart, a little bit not as big as a traditional mine cart, although this is a mine cart image I've used here, but it's a hand cart that seems to be kind of just almost pushed up against the side of the rock here. It is empty, though there is a very faint kind of sheen and dust and some small fragments of rock and ore at the bottom of the cart itself.
Does it look like ghost rock?
It does look like ghost rock. Yes. Yes, it does.
So when they died, they were still working the mine then, in which case. So there's still ghost rock in this mine.
I'm going to head a bit further north. Just in case.
Tom, just don't go too far.
This is as far as I'm going. I want to see whether or not the passage potentially heads in the direction of the town. If it was.
You kind of get to there, and this seems to be the extent of the mine to the north here. There is a stick of dynamite, like a bundle of dynamite that's kind of half propped up against the side of the northern wall, but the wall itself the cave itself doesn't seem to go any further.
So to the left, that's a dead end as well, is it?
Appears so, yes.
Okay.
What was the object below? Or was that like a barrel?
Yeah, so that is a barrel, and you'll have seen this before. It is a barrel with a hand pump on, so probably there to pump water or beer or ale or something, mostly water. But yeah, it's just a place to go and get refreshments. There's probably a couple of metal cups that are scattered around the floor, maybe even on top of the barrel.
Is there any way round to the right this way, or is that like a cut off and then straight into the water? How deep's that water?
Hard to tell at the moment. There is a constant dripping from the ceiling into this area. I mean, deep enough to form a small pool. I say small pool, that's probably what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet by about 20 feet. So it could be deeper than you expect.
I'll pick up that pickaxe I see up top and lower it in just to see it deeper than the height of the length of the pickaxe.
Around the edges, it doesn't seem to be too deep, but as you, so this kind of area here, just up to this kind of where the water kind of laps up against the wall, isn't too deep.
Is it worth having a look at the other side here?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like from here I can see that it kind of looks like there's a bit of a path up there, but it's probably just something that doesn't go anywhere. But
There's a
probably worth a look.
tin bath or something the other end of it.
I'm just taking it very steady.
Move yourself back one square, please, Colt.
Yeah, I'm literally got my hand on the wall as I'm walking. I'm just
Yeah, so as you get to about there, you're obviously kind of wading a little bit in the water. You notice several bubbles further up, and then out from the water appears another patchwork looking figure.
behave yourself.
Half of the head appears to, well, it's very bloated as well. Part of the head appears to be missing, and the other half appears to be sort of looks to be like that, the skin color you would associate with a Chinese person. And then it kind of rises up.
Shit, it's the water margin.
Yeah.
It is. Let's go to initiative. As it kind of splashes out from the depths towards Colt. Oh, here we go. Tokens are all wrong again. Let me sort tokens out. I hate it when it does this. We should be able to.
Did we work out these things' weaknesses from killing the last one?
Headshots.
Oh, it's not so
Everybody
much
on.
weakness,
Everybody
though.
started initiative. I'm just waiting for Blake.
I don't think I'm on there. Bear with it.
Okay, this thing kind of lumbers forward slowly, reaching out with its hands to grab hold of Colt. So first and foremost, could you, Colt, could you make a fear check, please?
Certainly, that's on. Is that spirit?
Yeah, I think if you click the...
Oh, you've got a little. No,
No, it's a spirit roll and at -2.
We get a bonus because we've already seen one today.
Oh, do you get a bonus because you've already seen one today? You're immune, you don't need to roll.
Right.
So ignore the fear.
I didn't know if it was per patchwork or whether it was.
No, I think you're right.
Generic.
Once you've seen it, I think you're okay. Okay.
Yeah. Once we've killed one, we know that they're beatable.
It lumbers forwards and
We
then
met-
tries to...
I was going to say, can anybody remember how it was beatable? I
yeah,
can't.
we took the heads off, didn't we?
Yeah, was it headshot?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It snaps out at you with its mouth, kind of catching you as you raise your arm to try and push it away. Kind of bites into you, doing...
I've got my third
5
edge.
points of damage.
How many points? Sorry, 5.
Yeah. Hold on. You don't take damage. I just apply it. So you're shaken by this thing. Okay, that's its go. Tom, you're up.
Try this other one. Right. So that's... What is it? So hex slanging will be spellcasting, will it?
Yep.
So I can do that and shoot without penalties because it's the hex slanging thing. I can do those 2 actions. So spellcasting on that. So wait.
Okay, well, you've succeeded on your spellcasting test.
Right. Okay. So I will choose loaded for bear.
Okay.
It does more damage, and then take a shot at it.
Go for it.
So it's a hit.
That is a hit. No raise. So you do 2d6 plus 1 damage. 2d8 plus 1 damage.
Yeah, just changing the. Trying to figure out how to change the damage dice.
You won't be able to from there, so you'll need to just roll 2d8 plus 1.
Okay. Okay, plus 1. There we go. What's that? It's a hit, at least.
It's 9 damage. Okay. All right.
And
I'll
move up there all the way.
Okay. You kind of hit it. It doesn't really seem to have a major effect on it.
Yeah, I didn't think it would. I don't know its weaknesses to manifest that type of thing, damage against it.
Hmm.
I should have ended turn, so it should be Blake now.
Yep. It's not Blake.
Oh.
Give me a sec. From further in the mine, you hear a shuffling sound, and you see a figure kind of come shuffling out from the darkness. Blake, you're up.
Okay, I will take a step back to there,
Mhm.
and I will take a cold shot at the head of the patchwork man.
Yay.
Okay. Modifier. Dum, 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 dum. Actually, name the modifier. Sure, it did.
Cold shot, isn't it?
That's what
Yeah,
I
it's
thought.
a headshot, top one. I remember
Headshot.
Not on mine.
that. Attack modifiers, cold shot, hand, and then at the bottom, cold shot, head or vitals. On the damage, it was the top one for head. Yeah, for mine end, the shooting skill. Click on shooting. Choose a modifier, and it's the it's not the very bottom one. There's more below it, but under attack modifiers, it's about halfway down. Third one down.
Yeah. So if you click on shooting, attack modifiers, cold shot, head or vitals.
They
Off you
didn't,
go.
they didn't come up when I clicked shooting off the sheet. It didn't come up.
I think you need to have it off the card.
Yeah, weird.
It is weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got the macro at the bottom.
Kath, if you create another version of your ruined gun and then in brackets put loaded for bear or something, we can change the damage on it and you can utilize it that way.
Okay.
No.
Okay. As you squeeze off a round, you do so in a slightly hurried manner. The bullet ricochets off the side of the cave wall, completely missing the creature. Billy.
I'm going to do the same sort of thing.
Go for it.
And I've got headshots. Have I be under shooting again? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you hit shooting and then under, I've got itchy back. Under choose a modifier, halfway down under attack modifiers, you've got cold shot, head or vitals. Look at you with your
Nicely done.
freaking heck. Okay, so roll an attack with a raise. Roll your damage with raise.
So it says damage modifiers, cold shot, head or vitals.
Head. And then then do it with raise, yeah.
Is that enough? Is that enough dice?
Oh, 3d6.
What weapon are you using?
Cold Peacemaker
Is that 2d8?
on 2d6.
2d6.
Is it?
Yeah. And then you get a bonus damage because of the thing.
Yeah.
Resolve damage. Okay, one thing. No, I need to check that. Oh no, okay. Ignore me. Right, resolve damage on. Let's not resolve damage on Cole. Let's resolve damage on the creature.
Colt just
That
pops
sounds
himself
good.
in there.
Yeah.
Shoot myself in the face.
Billy never liked Colt.
I have got the Grim Reaper trait.
Okay. You hit the side of this creature's head unnervingly, and you watch as the bullet kind of goes through and out the back with that kind of sickening, splintering sound, along with kind of a wet tearing noise from the water-soddened head. But it doesn't quite seem to be enough to take this thing down. And leisurely, this kind of half a head turns and looks in your direction. Oh, you're up.
Right.
You are shaken.
I need to
my
roll my.
man.
Colt did it.
You've removed shaken. Nice. So now I believe you get to act.
I do. I'm gonna literally put my gun up into his. Double tap it. I'm gonna shoot this thing.
Okay, go for it. You can count as. Let's have a look. Are you going for the head again?
I'm gonna try to get to the head. Yep.
Okay. Technically, we should be doing this in dim light. You can have called shot, head or vitals. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't edit this gun. Won't let me.
Okay. Okay, well that will hit, but without a raise. So roll your normal damage.
Yeah.
Ten. That's nice damage. The creature is shaken. Will.
See, that's it for me. I'll just end my.
Okay.
Yeah, just to get over the fuck was that? Just to get over all the dim light you were talking about.
Yeah.
I've got a lantern, and I wouldn't have come in here if it was.
Okay, you wouldn't have come in without your lantern. No problem.
So I've got a lantern. I will put it on the deck. It gives 4 inches of light. Not literally inches, guys. I mean, on the
Yeah.
They're a shit lantern from Timu.
You should now have a loaded for bear version of your ruined. So it's your third item down.
Yeah, I see it. Thanks.
Yeah, cool. Okay, top of the round, Blake. You're up. Blake, you have a red joker.
Oh, well, that means I get cool stuff, doesn't it, a Joker?
That was
Yeah.
the Benny's rolling, I think.
That was why you all got bennies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives me a bonus as well, doesn't it?
Billy also got the black joker, which means you also got extra. So I think everybody got 2 extra bennies for that, for those actions. Yes. If I remember rightly, the red joker and the black joker gives. I forget what the jokers do now. Let me double check.
I think you can act whenever you want, can't you?
You can act whenever you want. Yes.
And I think you get like a bonus to your actions and stuff. but I can't remember what the bonus is.
It's called one-shot killer, if anything.
Yeah.
One shot kill. No, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
And you don't need to hit.
I think the game will take into consideration what it gives you. So,
Well, I
Joker
will-
72. Hang on.
I will do the same thing again anyway. I will try and shoot this fecker in the head.
You get a +2 to all trait tests and a +2 to damage totals as well.
Okay.
You sure you want to go first?
Absolutely, yeah.
Go for it.
I'm not letting it get any closer. Yeah, it's got the +2 in there.
Cool. Nice. That's going to hit with no raise.
Do I Benny it because we've got all these bennies? And try and get a raise?
Worth it, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Definitely worth it.
And there's your raise.
Okay. Right, I will roll. I will now damage it. Hopefully. Right, so it was +2. So it's plus. It'll have it in the thingy. Right,
Yeah.
so it's got the +2 to damage. Has it got the raise?
I think
You
it's
need to
Sanskrit
select
raise.
raise. So you need
Sorry,
to.
roll raise. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, roll raise.
Yeah. I'm going to Benny the damage as well.
Okay, go for it.
Well worth it.
Holy shit, well worth
Keep
it.
going. Let's keep going.
And you're still going.
Oh,
28 damage.
Yeah.
have I got a new coat called Patchman?
Well, I hate to say it though, I'm going to burn a Benny to see if I can soak some of that damage.
Yeah, not going to be able to do enough.
I soak 1 wound.
And he takes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. You watch as his head just vaporizes into red mist, and the body then just kind of falls backwards into the water.
Thank you, Blake, sir. Much
Billy.
appreciated.
Back yourself up, Colt.
You do realise that's the natural spring well for the local town, don't you?
Yeah.
He was bathing in it anyway. They've been drinking patchwork bollocks for months.
Well, now the head's missing. I'm just expecting the hands just to carry on going for the throat. Head or no head.
I am going to step forward and then target Mushti over the back here.
Go for it.
What's the penalty for cold shots? -2 or -4?
-4 for head.
Yeah.
Head or vitals -4. Things like hands -2.
Ah, right, okay.
I am going to Benny that.
Don't blame me. Well, it's a hit.
Yeah, okay.
Roll your damage.
Nice damage.
And that was headshot.
That was headshot. Yeah, that kills it. As again, you hit it in the head, and you watch as this thing kind of takes 2 steps forwards, and then just kind of registers that it's got no head left and falls to the floor. Nice little speed bump there for you all. Let's drop out of combat. Okay. Nice.
Okay, with a bit of a shake in my head, I'm going to progress a bit further. I've got my gun in my left hand, and I'm using my right hand to steady myself on the wall.
Okay.
But I am testing the flooring in front of me.
Yeah, at this point you are going to have to kind of get into the water proper. As the water laps up against the wall here.
Do we take these corpses back to the dock, or just tell him they're here and let him get them?
Well, do we recognise these corpses at all? What sort of dress are they wearing? Or are they naked like the last one?
Okay, so the patchwork figure is very much like the previous one. This one is made up of a number of ethnicities. You've got clear signs of Apache, or well, Indians. You've got clear signs of Chinese, typical white folks, a few black folk, and also bits of rabbit. The figure, though, the other side, this one, appears to be another one of those undead Indians.
Sorry, say that again. Undead.
Indians.
I don't know. Relative menu in here. English, Chinese, Indian.
Yeah. Rabbit.
We covered all the bases just to make people happy.
Exactly. I've not singled out any particular ethnicity.
Okay, I'm going to just move to here and see if Tom wants to go ahead.
Why would I go ahead? I'm back on the other side
Oh,
of the
sorry, that's you. Sorry. In that case, that would be William.
Okay, again,
I've got it covered.
you cannot reach the extent of the mine here, but this part of the mine looks to have seen some recent digging. There is a small hand cart, again bereft of any large pieces of ore, but there are some bits of gold in here, as well as the fine traces of ghost rock dust. A pick axe is kind of laid on the floor, but it's as far as it goes. To your eyes, you don't really know what you're looking for from a mining perspective.
I know it goes in veins. Is there any obvious gold or ghost rock veins, or does it look as though it's been mined out?
Good question. Give me a common knowledge roll.
I'm going to
To
beat it.
your, oh, go for it. Snake eyes. That is an absolute critical failure. To your eyes, you have no idea really what you're looking for. It's just rock. I mean, maybe there's a vein, but you don't know.
Bits of rock back here. Not a lot, just bits.
Uncanny in a mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so.
That passage to the north, does that look wide enough to go down?
Yes.
Right, okay. I'll head over to the other guys first.
You're in the rock there. You have to walk through the water.
Through the
It's
water.
not very clear, but yeah,
Uh,
it's the way this thing.
Well, it might be, but I didn't know whether it could climb up.
Yeah, this is probably a little bit of a slightly shallower bank up into the thing, but so you could probably stretch your way around it. Getting to the end of there, though, it is quite not quite. It's an incredibly narrow passageway. You would need to kind of go on your side and possibly even take off your jacket and your gun belt in order to kind of push your way through there.
Quickly reload my Colt Frontier.
No worries. Yeah, don't forget to do that. Don't forget to reload your weapons.
And then lantern, left hand, gun out in the right hand, pistol out in the right hand. Make my way in and have a quick shufty.
Okay. Oh, I was talking more about this bit here.
Oh yeah,
That
that bit there.
Yeah,
right.
that bit's fine. It's just you're just up to your sort of shins, so your boots are a bit wet.
Dead end.
You can pass through there. It will just require you to relieve yourself of any objects that stick out from the majority of your body. So your gun belt would need to come off, and you'll have to kind of force yourself in, kind of almost going like this, and kind of moving yourself. It's a very narrow, probably 1.5 to 2 foot wide.
If you pass me a gun belt, I'll pass it back through once you're through.
What can we see on the other side?
Appears to be shining your lantern in it. It just appears to be like almost it is a 90-degree bend that goes off to the east.
Okay, well, I'll take off my gun belt and pass it to take it to the preacher, and I will draw my knife and make my way in.
Okay. Very very tight squeeze. Give me an athletics roll, please.
Lols.
Lols. Oh yeah, your athletics is amazing.
Yep.
You have bennies and you have a D6. Well, look, you get through 7. That's a success. No raise. Okay, you manage to squeeze your way through into like a small area where you can stand, and then it's another slightly wider. This time it's passable, probably just over 2.5 feet wide. If Colt passes the lantern through to you, you can see very quickly that it kind of like opens up into sort of a somewhat natural cavern. The only thing of note at the far end appears to be a bunch of dynamite laid out on the floor. Looks like perhaps at some point somebody was prepping to do some blasting in there.
Well, I'll pass the lantern, his gun belt, and my gun belt through.
Right. I'll make my way to kind of there. I'll put the lantern down on the floor.
Yeah.
In a dry spot because I don't want to take it over towards the dynamite. And then go and have a closer inspection.
Okay, give me a common knowledge roll.
Yes, we might as well do the same.
I have no common knowledge. I am just stupid.
Any, if you wish. Or somebody else. Colt, give me a common knowledge roll.
I have all the knowledge.
You do?
Okay. In this instance, yes, you do. There is a At the far end here, you can see tool marks and a couple of impressions, which, yeah, Tom, you haven't a clue. Your very limited knowledge of mining suggests that this back part of the cave has already been blasted out, but you think you can see in a couple of places a very small seam of ghost rock.
So I'll point it out so people know what to look for. Look over there in the wall. You can see the seam coming down. It's got a little glow
Is
to
what
it.
coming down?
Seam man coming down.
So, what you're saying is, to set off that dynamite, there's going to be a really big explosion.
Yeah, I do believe so indeed.
It might be time to start backing out of here.
I don't think Ghost Rock plays nasty with others.
No, I think we need the doc to figure out what would happen if that was set off.
I mean, it's kind of a little bit like coal, but with sort of a silvery fleck kind of running through it.
It does glow slightly as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gives off a little bit of a glow. Doesn't appear to be a huge amount, and very possible that Kellerman was trying to kind of mine it out here. But you've kind of come to the extent of the mine. The mine doesn't seem to go further north, south, or east of the extent that you've covered it. It's small. It has some potential. Perhaps there's other potential that you can continue. You know, you could theoretically mine if you wish to. It's hard to tell.
We drag this dynamite out of here.
Probably safer.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wouldn't it be funny if this was set off, caused a chain reaction that blew the town up next door? It would kill us as well, of course, because we're in an enclosed space with all the dynamite. What the? He was going to kill himself anyway, obviously.
Well, he'd have put a big, massive fuse wire, wouldn't he, and run it round the corner.
And then the
You'd
next
hope.
corner.
You'd have thought so.
Yeah.
You'd hope.
You probably just stand here.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Tapping his foot on the floor. Still not blown up.
I was thinking maybe he'd shoot it and set stuff. That could be entertaining to watch.
Right, well, I don't know who wants to take the dynamite, but I don't want to be carrying it with the lantern, so...
Yeah, I'm gone.
I'll pick
I
it
don't
up.
touch dynamite.
Doc seems to be okay with it, so I'm going to pick it up and pop it safely in my pockets or in my backpack.
Okay.
Pocket is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have to sort of like kick it along the floor.
Yeah,
You can't really... Or hold it above your head or something, because you've only got 2 foot to deal with, haven't you?
You've effectively got the equivalent of 3 lots of 3 sticks of dynamite available. So I'll put them on your character sheet.
The doctor's collection of dynamite grows.
Indeed.
The doctor's collection of dynamite growth.
So he's got more dynamite and some ghost rock. He's been well made up.
Yeah. So, as we're going as a party, as time goes on, I'm keeping further and further away from the dock, just in case something goes wrong.
Okay.
It's the bit in Aliens where you've got the satchel and all the ammo, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll stand in the middle of the group.
as best you can make out, nothing else to be found in the valley. Again, it's odd. Perhaps definite signs that there was some mined ghost rock here, but if there was, it's gone. No clear indication of how these patchwork things appeared, or even how that lone or the undead Indian appeared either. Somebody brought them here. There's no indication as to who.
Maybe the chappie. Let me just throw one out there. But maybe the person that created these was helping them or getting them to mine for him. If he had some kind of semblance of control.
That would make sense if they've got some control over it.
Yeah, especially to say that the Indian one was in the far side where there was some pickaxe activity.
Yeah, the other patchwork man didn't have parts of Robert in him, did he?
No,
Robert was another undead.
correct.
Okay. I suppose it's possible that I think the town next door found out that they'd found Ghost Rock and basically stole the rock and left these things behind to stop anyone else nosing about.
Well, the thing is, where would you go to sell Ghost Rock if you made your first claim?
Back to Deadwood.
So possibly they've got somebody in Deadwood watching the claims and sales.
Possibly.
And whenever anybody comes in selling Ghost Rock, they look for the claim and go over and do them over.
Or maybe it's just the town that we're looking into that are just taking it and using it there without them to hand it in.
They could just know that in this region there's a
Yeah,
metric shit ton of Ghost Rock, and they've got all the claims, and they're just going around and systematically just wiping them out, just in case. Or maybe there's something even more nefarious going on, and they just don't want claims near it because they don't want it seen.
Well, we can always hang around and see if they come and try and kick us off.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a long play, isn't it?
Yeah, we get back to the house and the dock's surrounded by house next door. Just to speed it up a bit.
8 years later, after successfully mining the region, we've got a successful career in a corporation.
We've gone full Minecraft and gone through underground.
It's still not come along, you know, but we are rich.
Yeah. Ghost Rock Incorporated.
Yeah, we'll go and sell the dock what we found. Are there any other trails out? Like there's a gap in the trees to the north. Does that lead anywhere, or?
No, not particularly. It's just where they've cleared trees to build the cabin and create the framework for parts of the tunneling. The canyon overall that you're in is probably 200 or so yards east to west, 50 to 100 yards north to south. There's that singular track that seems to lead up, climb around the wall of the canyon and up, that eventually leads you past quite high up in the hills, the canyon where Black Gulch is situated. But Black Gulch from here is almost directly east, maybe slightly northeast.
On my way out,
Yep.
take the shotgun off that was with the corpse.
Yep.
Get the handcart, put the corpse in the handcart.
Okay.
Wheel it back to the house, and then start digging 2 graves.
Okay.
Because I assume the guy that was on the bed, who was the undead, possibly could be the husband.
I'll give you a hand digging.
Clothes, very possible. Definitely a white guy. Yeah, clothing would definitely indicate more than anything that it would be husband.
I think somewhere to the back near the trees over there, dig two graves.
Yeah.
and then hopefully the preacher will be able to say some words over him and we can lay him to rest.
Indeed, I will give you a hand digging those holes.
All right. Well, that'll take best part of the rest of the day to do that. I think 3 or 4 hours to dig those graves and then get the bodies in there and cover them up for Colt to then
Do a little sermon.
Do a little sermon, blessing the bodies and getting them down to rest. So probably by now, again, the sun is starting to set. The valley is starting to come down into the heat. The valley is starting to become dark.
I'll go around with tin mugs of brew.
No worries.
I'll keep an eye out as well for anyone coming to visit.
Is it worth maybe setting up a couple of traps on the roadway on the way in, if you can?
Yeah, some basic alarms, so
Yeah.
things like.
All right. You can set traps, not a problem. And I guess settle yourself down for another night here, yes?
Indeed, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take second watch again.
Okay.
Just out of interest, can I get on the roof?
You can get up on the roof.
Can I get up on the roof from the inside so there's a hole in the roof?
There is a hole, yes.
Yeah, I just want to get up there, maybe take my watch on top of the roof by the chimney stack.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, silhouetted by the moon.
Yeah. There he is.
Yeah, when I'm up there, I'm going to be hiding rather than just sitting there.
Preacher doesn't realise it's a wooden roof and puts a little fire up there to cook his supper. Supper burning. Yeah, it was.
What are these red long sausages? I'll use one of them. I will have given that dynamite over to Doc, by the way.
Okay. Let me update the dot then. The doc doesn't have a lot to tell you. He's not been able to make any great progress. The notes and things, what was left on that paper, too much of it has been damaged in order for it to really make any sense.
Can I look at the corpses to see if I can work out any weaknesses for future use of the ammo on me type thing? Is it susceptible to certain things?
You
Extreme violence.
You can. Extreme violence is always a good one. Give me a
Cultism?
occultism. Excuse me. Yes, occultism roll, please. Nice. Not quite a raise. For the most part, headshots seem to be the most effective against them.
Okay.
Patchwork men in particular, this thing seems to be designed to survive. The other thing that you get the sense of when you compare it to sort of the other corpse, the other Walking Dead, that showed signs of decay. The Patchwork Man, the flesh on this thing shows no sign of decay, no sign of atrophy. It is literally, it just looks like cured meat that has been, well preserved. It is. The other thing that you kind of get as well is the whole thing seems to be designed to take a lot of punishment.
Okay, like cut off a finger or something and see whether it's susceptible to fire. Throw it in a fire or something. See whether it just ignores the fire type thing.
I won't be in that room.
I was thinking outside, throwing finger on the fire, but
Doesn't ignore the fire any more than your hand would ignore the fire.
right, okay.
Doesn't seem susceptible to fire or not susceptible to fire.
That's fine. Okay. So basically, off the damage rather than anything else.
So the
Yeah.
reanimated corpses seem to go down a lot faster than the patchwork.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the head thing is, long as we get past the dense skull, we're okay. It's
Right.
doing that
Yeah,
amount of damage.
Whilst it doesn't appear to have any kind of armor, well, you've not met one of these things perhaps wearing anything that would be counted as armor. It does, the flesh does appear to be, probably in the same way that when you cure meat, it becomes tougher. This is exactly what this is like. It's definitely a tougher skin compared to the normal Walking Dead. A lot more care and effort has been put into creating this patchwork
Yeah.
figure.
So armor piercing won't make any difference. It's purely location.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
Yes. All right, let's take a quick 10-minute break.
Okay.
Come back at 9 o'clock.
Coolio.
fine. Get a coffee.
Sorry guys, I'm back. I was making some pate on toast.
What on toast?
Pate.
Mm,
It's not pate, we don't say that, it's pate. P-A-T-E.
pate.
Yeah, there's a little symbol over the E.
Yeah, it's not
I
English.
know English doesn't seem to recognise those things, but other languages do.
I could just call it spread. Some duck and liver spread.
Duck and liver spread. Oops, I just shut down my browser by accident. Waiting for Sorrento. Okay, are we all back?
Think so?
Yep.
I think we're all back, aren't we? Okay, let's. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Okay.
That was a lot of dice that you rolled.
Yeah, lots of dice.
I do that when I'm fucking with players' heads.
Yeah, our GM
Just
on
roll lots. Just roll loads of dice.
Yeah, I go, ooh.
yeah, our GM on Friday says that. GMs don't roll dice to see what the numbers are; they just do it for the sound it makes.
I don't even roll
They
dice to
make
see if
numbers
I've
up
hit.
themselves. No, that's what I mean. They make up the numbers that they want.
I get them to roll the dice 6, and then if anybody asks if anybody had rolled a 6, then if they go, "Yeah, I did," you just go, "Okay," and you just write something down, and then you look at you like, "What?" You're like, "Nothing."
Write anything down. Okay. So I just settle down for the night. Who's taking the first watch and for how long?
I'll go on first. 3 hours.
I'm used to getting up early, so
Yeah.
I'll take last watch then.
Okay.
Go someone third.
You are indeed on third.
What time of the year is it? It's
It
like
is September. It is the 11th. To be exact, it is 11th of September. It is currently about 23, about 11, quarter to 12. So who's on watch about quarter to 12?
We're just about to
I'm
change
guessing
over.
we're both
so the long nights, aren't they, in September? So
probably cold then.
No, we're just about to change over at 12 at midnight.
Yeah.
Colt, give me a notice roll, please.
We're letting Doc lie in, I take it.
Yeah, Doc's asleep. Doc's snoring, clutching a triple pack of dynamite in his arm as he's like it's his lover, fast asleep.
like a little teddy.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping in the building if he's doing that.
It is getting to that point, Colt, where you're starting to get that feel of tiredness, where you are, it's coming to the end of your watch.
Oh, sorry. No, it'd be Tom in that case.
I'm on the first watch.
I swap over at midnight.
Swap over to Colt.
Oh, you swap over at midnight? No, it's Colt. It's just after midnight then, so it's probably.
Okay.
Actually, all right. It's about 2 hours into your watch. It's about 2:45 in the morning. You're starting to think about getting Blake up for the sort of that final 4-hour stint before the sun may start to rise. As you kind of make a quick pass around the house, you kind of glance out through one of the windows that you've kind of left slightly unshuttered, and there seems to be a pale light coming from the track that you kind of walked down or came down on your horses. Your horses aren't making any sounds, but you notice this light seems to be getting closer towards you.
Is it a lantern light or a eerie greeny light?
It's more of a white light, but not that kind of yellow light that you get with lanterns or green light that you might get with ghosts or strange presences but it's a white light.
Okay, I'm going to go wake up William because he's on watch next.
Okay.
And I'll probably wake up Blake as well.
All right.
I'll see how Tom is. I'll give him a nudge because he's just literally been asleep for like 2 hours, hasn't he? 2.5 hours.
Yep. Well, each of you are getting nudged by Cole. And as you're taking the time to do that, the light is getting stronger to the point now where it's a noticeable light kind of coming in through the cracks in the window.
Okay, I will roll up off my bedroll, which I've got over here, and what is it? Oh,
Yeah.
that isn't day. Oh well, that isn't
That's
daylight.
not daylight. No, and I'm going to the roof.
I'm drawing my pistol.
Yeah, I'm putting my gun belt on and picking up my rifle.
Probably going to do the same. Grab a rifle.
All right, all of you kind of come to seeing this kind of bright light. You kind of rush, you rush up, grabbing weapons. Some of you kind of heading to the door. Some of you trying to climb up onto the
Zed,
roof.
I'll
Yeah.
also, if it's coming from this side, I'll also, if there's a big wooden table or something like that, like a dining table,
Yep.
I'll also turn that over
Okay.
with some help.
Yeah,
I'll get Tom to help me to turn that over, so we've also got a second line.
I'm going to go out the back door and round the outside.
Round the outside?
Round the outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was half expecting you to say run to that break in the trees behind us, but that's what I was thinking of doing.
I'm going to run out the back and run back to Tombstone. Or Deadwood, sorry.
Oh, we've got tombstones at the back if you want to go to the tombstones.
Okay. Figure is continuing to come close.
Oh,
We
we
hear
need to.
anything?
Yeah, do we hear anything? Do we see anything when we're peering through a gap in the window?
So that's the
Shut it.
really odd thing. You don't hear anything. No sounds of footsteps on the underbrush or the bits of twigs. Nothing, you didn't hear anything kind of set off your traps.
Is
You
it
just got this
silent?
figure.
Is it silent like when the animals were all silent, or have we still got night sounds?
See
Owls
what a
hooting
night.
and things.
It's quiet outside. You can still hear insects, but that's about it.
Okay, and what shape is this figure that we can see then?
Human.
I'm going to, in my commanding voice, say, "Halt! Who goes there?"
The figure that you can make out, it's almost like it's a back illuminated bright. It's a bright light with a darkened figure that's kind of, with the light behind it. So you're struggling to see anything other than the actual shape
The
of this
silhouette.
figure. And it just pauses there and doesn't really say much.
Okay, I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm
Can I
going
see
to.
anything from the trees here?
Hang on a sec. I've got a sort of window open, so I can't see what's going on. So the figure has stopped here. From where you are, you can see it looks to be more, normal sized. There does seem to be an outline of you think it's a man. And he seems to be raising his hand and pointing at the door.
Okay, I'm just going to watch and cover it with my rifle.
And I'm doing that by using a penny. To do it properly and not. Refresh my memory, can I spam bennies?
Yeah, you can use a Benny as often as you want. Until you get snake eyes. Once you get snake eyes,
You
you're
can't.
done.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I've now got my not my shield, so it's my holy symbol.
Okay. As you present your holy symbol, you feel a what is your holy symbol?
It is the cross, the crucifix.
It is a crucifix. So if you kind of present your crucifix and begin to draw upon your power, holy symbol does what for you?
Evil creatures find it hard to attack pious wayfarers with true faith. A symbol of deity to back it up. Once invoked, any supernatural evil that wants to make direct physical physical attack on the bearer, and the symbol must make a spirit roll as a free action.
That's right.
The creature subtracts.
As you present your holy symbol, you feel the sense that your holy symbol, rather than having an adverse reaction to this thing, seems to warm in your hands.
Ah. Is this a male or female?
It appears to be a male figure.
Robert, is that you?
There's no response, but the figure kind of moves up the set of stairs. Billy, you can hear Colt kind of call out, "Robert, is that you?" And then as he calls out that, the figure kind of seems to step forward. It's at this point you notice that it is kind of it seems to be walking, but it's also gliding.
It's not walking.
Friend.
And then it stops here.
They're here.
Carolyn.
They come out mostly.
Yeah, mostly. Let him in. Clear the entranceway and let him in.
Easy there, dude. Easy there, dude. There are other things in the night that you don't want to let into a house.
True, but I have a feeling.
It
It's
doesn't.
wind.
It doesn't come in. Suddenly, it seems to turn and walks to the chair here. And then the figure points.
And this is where you realise that the holy symbol is still getting warmer and warmer and warmer as it's a bird.
It's about to start a Ghostbusters, isn't it? Going to go, you're right, you're right. It's going to go,
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you can hear the Ride of the Valkyries music in the
Yeah.
Where's he pointing to?
The chair, the bench, the chair thing, the veranda chair.
Well, she's going to sit with him.
Maybe, in which case I'm going to. Can't do that. I can't drop down. I have to go that way. Oh, it's not letting me.
You need to go through the doorway. There we go.
So I'll lower myself down there.
So it's pointing to this thing here. And it's now here. I'll just use this token to represent where the figure is. It's just there. And it's pointing to the chair.
Maybe there's something under the chair or the bench.
Okay, in which case I shall point and lift it.
Lift.
The bench.
Okay. Lifting the bench, stuck between one of the slats of wood appears to be a piece of paper.
I shall unfurl it and see what it says.
I prepared explosive runes today.
Yes.
See, despite
No.
me there, I was expecting to go on his hands and knees and look under the bench and then something bad to happen.
If you're reading this, you're too close.
That's awesome. That's what I would do.
What's your safe word? What's your safe word?
Yeah.
It seems to have an image of a building, looks like a church, with the sun behind it.
Fucking hell, it's Ravenloft.
And it says, "Come, brothers and sisters, to the chapel of the Red Waters in Deadwood, Dakota Territory. We provide substance for both the body and the soul. If you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land." Isaiah 1:19.
Oh, that's one of those flyers, isn't it?
This is those dickheads, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is one of those flyers, yes.
And does the church match anything we've seen before?
There is no such church as the Chapel of Red Waters in Deadwood. All you know is that the
Does the picture represent that church in the town we're going to?
do you know, it could do.
That's what I was thinking.
But then
Yeah.
is it a generic image of a church? Like the kind of church
Yeah.
that you see all over the
They were quite
Wild
generic.
West.
They were quite generic, weren't they?
They
Yeah, but-
were quite generic. But
design.
it is that kind of shape. But yeah, it appears to be one of those leaflets. And the figure points to the east
Oh, where the town is.
and then turns and begins to walk off the veranda.
It's out to the west, isn't it?
No, it's
Or
the east.
facing south.
It's the east.
Right. Okay.
You travelled west past the church, through the mountains, and then down into the valley, the other side of a small range of hills. The hills themselves were probably no more than a quarter of a mile wide.
Right. Okay.
And as it kind of steps down, it pauses at the bottom of the stairs. It nods at Colt and then starts to walk away. And as it does so, each step seems to start to fade.
Travel safely, my friend. The Lord will look after you. Now put my crucifix back in its holster.
It turns, reappears, and bites your head off.
Yeah.
The
So
Lord
what
will
you
look.
say-
The Lord will look after you, just not when you were fucking alive.
Yeah.
It's too busy giving AIDS to babies, that's why.
Yeah.
So you've got a
Um,
crucifix where the gun sight is on your gun, have you? When you're putting it away.
It's the ultimate crosshair, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And basically, yeah. So you watch as this figure kind of steps into the woods, and it just seems to vanish. That glow seems to disappear.
Right, my watch is over. I'm off to bed.
Well, I'm wide awake now.
I do think that was a bit of closure there.
So was that ghost basically
Oh,
hiring us to go and kill?
That
or-
ghost was a plot hook because we missed the
Yeah.
missed the piece of paper under the chair.
Yeah.
at least he didn't make me do any pottery.
You suddenly feel the urge to break out some
Yeah.
body parts and make a patchwork man.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so it seems that we're going to have to go to that church and fix a few things.
Or break a few things.
Indeed. Much I don't really like doing that kind of thing, but if they're working against people like this, then I will do the Lord's work.
Well, you know, we don't know
I
what
don't
these
mind doing things like
we don't know what these people were. They could have been deviants and devil worshippers for all we know. But
Well, yeah, they did have occult instructions. Whether they were theirs or not, we don't know.
now, do we go to this town to the east, or do we go back to Deadwood and just basically play holy hell with the people that are there because they're isolated.
But what are they
Sure,
doing?
it's not
Is that
exist in Deadwood. It's only this fake.
yeah?
I
It's,
really
it's a
assume
guy.
fake
Yeah,
creature.
it's a guy with a soapbox, isn't it? So what's he doing? Is he converting people and sending them to his town, or what? We've not listened to one of his sermons, have we?
No.
Yeah. Can you look up that passage in your Bible, Cole?
I certainly can.
And in your experience, how could that passage be misinterpreted in the worst possible way?
Let me have a look. A roll of dice, and someone will tell me. It's a very good point. I will just bear with me.
Because it was something, Ezekiel was it, and it was something about eating the fruits of the land.
Of the righteous, yeah, the land, yeah.
Yeah.
What would be really cool, Medi, is if you actually had a Bible on hand.
No, I've got a load of Bible quotes, but that's not one of it.
We do have Google.
and I do have the big bumper book of Bibles.
All right, give me
Bible
me a
colours.
give me a faith roll then, please.
Fucking Google, Roddy.
Oh dear.
You're not very devout here, are you?
Oh, your devotion has left you.
It's an obscure passage.
Do you want to try once
It's
more?
it's very obscure.
Do you want to try once more?
Yeah, I'll clutch my crucifix and just really ponder hard. I've heard this before.
You're on the wrong page. Turn the page over. It's the wrong passage.
better.
There you go.
I remember now.
You look at the context in the passage. The passage in question says, "If you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land." Thinking on it, obviously, this passage creates a call or a demand for obedience. To some, this could be absolute submission to something higher, some power. You know of the Reckoners, these creatures that have appeared over the last sort of 10 years, kind of coinciding with the discovery of Ghost Rock. Perhaps it could be this preacher using this kind of sense of demand for obedience to really drive home this need to follow, to obey at the to the exclusion of everything else.
The quite
The good of the land.
literally. Quite
Yeah.
literally though.
But then,
Eat the good of the land. If you were to perverse that, I know you eat the body of Christ
well, not me personally, but yeah.
at mass.
Yeah.
Maybe not you, but I know that's a thing. Eat the good of the land. If you were to perverse that, they could be having you for dinner.
Yeah, but
You're a good man.
the following line is, "But if you refuse and rebel, you shall be devoured by the sword."
No.
Is that the next line?
That's the next line. Yep.
Is it?
For the mouth of the Lord has spoken.
Have you just looked at what Isaiah 120 says?
Yeah, it's in the New King James Version.
Okay. Your quest ultimately is to kind of try and, Colt, your kind of whole quest is to try and bring stability to the West. Try and fight these so-called preachers of hate, the preachers who claim that the Reckoners will bring salvation. What you think here is this honest to God reference to Isaiah 119 could very much be used as a way to twist, basically saying, you must obey the reckoners.
Mm.
Obeying the reckoners will bring you plenty, will bring you protection, will bring you all the good of the land. But for those who choose to fight against them, it will cause them to starve, to die, to be destroyed, to not gain all the good of the land. And if you take in context of Isaiah 120, if you take into the context of Isaiah 120, that could be stretched even further to say that, the mouth of the Lord, the mouth of the reckoners have spoken. If you refuse, if you rebel, then you will die. All hidden in that one verse.
Indeed.
Seemingly innocent, come worship with us. Come worship and God and obey, and God will give you everything you want. But perhaps it's a way of getting followers in to something that they don't really know.
You think? Like some kind of cheap cult.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing fits with the undead sort of thing, and the patchwork man. I mean, they've got to be made out of somebody.
This meat tastes kind of porky, but we don't have any pigs around here.
Long pig.
Long pig, yes.
The rest of the night passes. You all start to kind of come to various times of the early morning from sort of 6 onwards. Blake begins to shake those late risers. You get the smell of pig cooking. Breakfast is
bacon sarnies all round.
you just don't question where the bacon come from.
But
The valley itself, that is still slightly rainy. Well, it's still that very fine rain, but the valley is alive with animal sounds.
okay, what do you think? Do we go back to Deadwood, report these killings, make show our claims safe, and also listen to the sermon? Or do we head on over the hill?
I think go play these false preachers a visit.
I think that might be a good idea. People twisting the word of the Lord. Bad things.
We've also got potential trouble with the army in Deadwood, so we need to be careful if we're going back there. Don't trust those as far as I can throw them.
Makes sense not to trust them.
So we start trouble with this preacher, and he tries to after all innocent, we're going to have the army on our breathing down our necks.
Also depends on how many people he's converted to his cause already.
Yeah.
That's going to be the worst thing.
It depends if he makes it outside the tent.
Yeah. What? Freudian slip.
Yeah.
It'd
be tragic if the tent was up in flames with him inside.
Locked up in a trunk.
It was suicide.
At least it's not a bath this time with drugs.
It could be arranged.
See, I'm happy going either route. Guns blazing into the town, or
I think guns blazing into town's wrong. I think if we going back to town, we're going to be sneaking around the back entrance towards that church and that mine entrance.
me we had silencers on our rifles.
And guns that shot more than 30 feet.
Guns that shot
I
more than
can
30 feet.
Yeah, I can compensate for that to a certain extent.
Okay, what's the plan?
I follow Colt's lead, since he's the one with a conscience.
Well, let's head back to.
No.
Okay, the wife says no. Yeah, let's head back to Deadwood. I think.
You're going to head back to Deadwood?
Yeah, I just want to check out this preacher, which we should have done before we left Deadwood, to be quite honest.
If you remember, the preacher left.
Oh, he'd left, hadn't he? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Ignore that then.
Yes.
Sorry, ignore that.
The preacher had left.
I reckon the preacher's over the hill then. I think we head over the
Well,
hill.
looks like we're going
East.
killing some people then. I mean, paying them a visit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reload my gun before.
Like Spike?
Well, it says it's reloaded, but I don't believe you. Oh, no, it has.
Okay. If you remember, so as you go up the hillside along the along the pathway that kind of looks down into the valley where Black Gulch sits. You remember, it's kind of a U shape. Black Gulch itself is just kind of a bunch of buildings that have been built sort of along the sides of the valley, and at the very far end you have this church building and a couple of other buildings that are hard to, from where you are sort of 500 feet up above it all, very hard to see what those buildings are used for. There doesn't appear to be a back entrance as far as you can tell, with Tom kind of looking down through his rifle scope. This is literally an enclosed valley, one way in, and that was the way you approached originally from the road. Doesn't appear to be any other way in, unless you could potentially find maybe a mine or something that led into here, but that would be very difficult for you to do.
That's like a box canyon type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
And there was a fence, wasn't there, around the church as well at the back, if memory serves me.
Yes.
But when we can see the town as we're on the ridge, can we see any other ways down?
No.
How steep are the sides of this canyon?
From where you are, it's a 500-foot near vertical drop.
The Lord shall save me. No.
Zed, you mentioned these reckoners.
Yeah.
Then, what do we know about them?
Good question.
Is it a common knowledge role or is it a specific? It doesn't sound common knowledge, but
Yeah.
I've got common knowledge and a
The Reckoness, I've got death, pestilence, famine, and war written on it.
oh, if you know that, then if that's common knowledge, well, that's Revelations, isn't it? Because I just had a brainworm just nurgling along, and just the link between that passage and conquest and famine.
Yep.
We've got a war going on. Yeah.
I would say yourselves, because of who you are, have probably heard of stories and claims that the Reckoners exist. Most common folk are aware of strange supernatural things beginning to happen, especially since the discovery of ghost and utilization of ghost rock. there's a lot of rumblings that over the last sort of 20 or so years, the West has gone mad. And that can be tied to the discovery of Ghost Rock. Most people try and dismiss the likes of Restless Spirits, ghosts and stuff, that, you know, as just tales, or just acts of God. What? 1 second. In terms of who the Reckoners are, and what you know of them, there are 4 of them that coincide with Revelations and with the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. There is one for death, one for war, one for famine, one for pestilence. And what you as a group believe, they are having a direct influence on the world, and for some reason they have decided to focus a lot of their attention here in the wild in the West.
Yeah, I've got notes here earlier on that the Ravenites are linked to war.
And the Ravenites are linked to one of the Reckoners known as War, yes. There is a rumor that each of the Reckoners has a servant in their employ, if you like, that is a direct representative of that Reckoner.
Avatar, in effect.
Basically, yeah.
So who was the leader of the Ravenites? Was he called Raven, something or other?
Yeah, tribe of Raven. So
Yeah.
he called himself Raven, basically.
Yeah, he's called Raven. Yeah.
Now, casting my mind back to episode 2, we didn't meet him, did we?
You haven't met Raven, no.
No.
You
We met some
Wovoka.
Ravenites.
You've met some Ravenites who you've fought against, and then you've met Wovoka, who is a spirit dancer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the best, and what you could determine from that is Wovoka and the spirit dancers are directly opposed to the Ravenites.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is awesome when you don't want to root through a book to find answers to things.
So maybe
it's very possible then that this clergyman is somehow linked to one of the Reckoners.
Indeed, I was about to say
Which
that.
one? You don't know.
It's probably famine.
I was going to say it sounds famine, doesn't it? The quote. Well, we've got a lot of elevation. We've got a lot of dynamite. Like I say, I'd just throw it over and see what happens. Throw it quite a long way. Well, 500 foot above the town.
All joking aside, that wouldn't be a bad idea for a diversion for us to get in the town. Not if you don't throw them at the town, but like the other side of our side of the cliff. Set some dynamite off. Maybe they'll go look and see what's there.
If we had a way to remotely detonate it, yeah. Otherwise,
No, just set a long fuse, a very long fuse.
yeah, a couple of miles. I hope nothing stands on it as for an extra feet.
No, then what we
Yeah.
can do is, if somebody comes to investigate, we just take those out and maybe interrogate, well, question them. No, gentlemen, this is a little bit out of my field.
An obvious way
Just-
down this cliff face.
No obvious way down. No, you would have to kind of follow the path that you came, and then kind of come back on yourself round, and as Sorrentar said, kind of head into that horseshoe box canyon.
Like we did last time, basically.
Yeah. And based on what you know, that could well end up being a run and gun.
But if we stick to the edge of the wall and go at night time, you'd like to think we'd be covered by night.
Very possible.
I think grabbing someone and questioning them isn't a bad call there, but
It's teasing somebody out to come and have a look.
yeah.
And like I said, the only way I can think about doing that is setting off some dynamite as if somebody's mining over that way. You know, the opposite way, so it's west of where, or northwest of where the town is.
I'd expect someone to be looking for their missing slaves by around now.
If they've got people in Deadwood that already know about that. Because we set them all free.
Brought them back, then we bought the claim next door, so we should expect them any minute.
Well, no, we brought them back and we went to the sheriff, didn't we?
Yeah.
And told him what happened, so he'll be questioning people. Hopefully.
But the soldiers were about, which means that's half the town probably now by now.
Okay. Do you have a plan in mind then?
Possibly, yeah.
Well, let me move you to the Black Gulch map. Questions to ask: what kind of time are you planning on assaulting this place?
Well, the darkest is just before dawn.
Okay.
I could make a song out of that.
So
It's maybe 3ish in the morning. 3
you're
or 4.
thinking waiting until the 13th then at 3 a.m.
That sounds lucky, yeah.
Is it a
And by
Friday?
the way,
But
it is actually a Friday. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
It is a Friday the 13th
can we do it at 1
of
o'clock?
September 1880.
Oh shit! So I'm gonna end up doing this thing, aren't I? What's it called?
I think what we probably need to set up as well is somewhere to fall back through
What, building-wise?
outside town. Possibly on the... But we're not going in on the horses. We'll
No.
need to leave the horses somewhere.
Yeah.
I think where we trek from here to the horses, directly beyond that, I think we probably need to set up some dynamite or something.
But I was hoping the
So-
dock might prep some we can leave on the buildings in the town. So as we go past on the way out, we can light them.
Well, I was thinking if we haven't got time to do that because I don't think we'll get to those buildings because if you remember, the sheriff was sat on the porch,
Yeah.
and
There were snipers on the roof.
I can't think that they won't have people watching at night
There's people up here.
and patrolling.
Yeah, there was the sniper in the church. and
Yeah, there was a
people on
there was a sniper in the church and there's
Yeah.
multiple people on roofs that we saw. But I think probably out of town somewhere, if we have to fall back to horses and then ride off, we need something that we can set off.
To deter them, yeah.
So sort of like, yeah.
Absolutely possible. So you can find a decent place, sort of like a gully off the road, about a quarter of a mile outside of the town proper. Not too far away from where you actually stayed last time. A little bit further towards the town, though. Far enough off the track, the road where you can kind of tether the horses and keep them out of view. Obviously, if they whinny or neigh or bray or whatever, they would give themselves away because it's not going to be too common where you are. And you can also, if necessary, you can definitely take some time to get some dynamite stuck in the road or however you want to do it. Dr. Newton can prep all that throughout the day. By the time you get to this location, it's probably mid-morning, lunchtime, really. So you know, if you're thinking about making the assault early morning on the 13th, you probably have the best part of 12 hours in which to do some prep, and maybe 15 hours total to do some prep and get some sleep and stuff like that.
Does that sound okay, everybody?
Yeah.
So it sounds good because we had some broken sleep the other night, didn't we?
Mhm.
True.
I think it would be a good idea to get a proper lay of the land as well.
Okay.
Like I say, if it does go
That's
tits up, we know all the ways out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can do that. So in terms of the general lay of the land, so this box valley where Black Gulch has been created sits at the end of sits at a valley, a depression into a set of prominent cliff-based parts of the Black Hill. Around you, other parts of the hills are just traditional rolling kind of hills, but this is sort of definitely more of a cliff structure. You came down the side of the cliff where this path was, 500 feet at the far end of the valley where Black Gulch sits, to probably 200 feet at the closest end, and then kind of coming down to ground level, probably a quarter or so mile away from Black Gulch itself. Black Gulch is kind of built up at the far end of this box valley, but it does significantly open out the further away you get. So sort of that quarter of a mile to the edge of the town, the sides are kind of decreasing quite significantly. The road itself that you're on, you can take that road back, and there's a branch further away that will head you back to Deadwood. Where the rest of the road goes, you don't know. You can presume it goes out into the Sioux Nation's plains. Let me go back to the disputed territories map for a second. So you can kind of assume it comes out because you are, I can't remember, north of Deadwood, I believe. Just sort of north of Deadwood. So, you assume it would kind of come out onto the plains near the railroad, or head to Deadwood, or other things. I mean, when you came back to Deadwood with the slaves, there were several other branches of the road that you could have taken that kind of scatter off into different directions. But the further east that you go, the easier the hills are to traverse. So there is definitely a number of ways that you can go. You know, the obvious ones are taking the roads. That would allow you to gallop and really push your horses. Or you can go down into the hills and the valleys and things around, risking capture because you wouldn't be able to go so fast with the horses, but it would be a much better route to take if you really want to shake any quarry or set up an ambush on the way back. So you can get all that prepped. The doctor preps, you know. So Doc Newton on his person. I have 2 lots of Doc Newton on this map.
I was going to say, how has he cloned himself?
And no Billy.
He's had the
That's
time.
what's happened. He's got 2 Dr. Newtons and no Billy. Hang on a sec. PCs.
He's invented a hologram projector that makes him look like someone else.
So the doc has a total of 5 lots of dynamite 3 sticks. So you could take 3 with you and use them to take out some buildings and leave 2 behind, buried somewhere where he can light. He can probably find some rock formation on one side or the other of the road that he could probably jam one in, and you could make some marks on the stone so that he could light it with a fairly short fuse just to either blow and block some of the road, or, you know, if you're really lucky, use it to capture, you know, trap somebody. So all that prep is possible.
Can he put 3 fuses into the triple pack of varying length?
Let's see, why not?
So depending on how far the people are behind us, he can either do a short fuse, a medium fuse, or a long fuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as long as he lights it with something fairly a small flame, so he doesn't light all 3 fuses at the same time, he'll get the right one.
Or you'd have one leading into the other, and you just light it further down
Yeah.
the fuse, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
What a roll on his character. How do you roll a skill?
He's got
Just double click it, dude.
thing is
Just click the
Click on the
number of the
dice.
brackets. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem is I can't because... Yeah, I don't know why I can't do it.
It's the
Weird.
dice number.
Have you got it popped out?
No. Very strange.
No party sheet in this either, is there?
No. Weird.
Right, the question is, how are we doing this?
Sneaking down the right hand side, I reckon.
Okay. So you're going to sneak down the right-hand side.
It's got the bigger buildings to get through to give us more cover.
Between the buildings and the cliff face, or
Yeah,
no,
the-
like-
Line yourself
buildings.
up on the map where you're going to start. We're not going to start this tonight because we won't get close to finishing it.
Here's the question: if we're sneaking down the right, do we
Yep.
want a diversion on the left? Or are we just going to try and get as far down as possible? And what's the goal here? What's the goal?
I was going to say, what the hell are we trying to do here?
What are we trying to achieve? That's the thing.
Sneak down the right hand
'cause
side.
I think it was it there that the the sheriff was that
So
building.
this is, as far as you know, this is the sheriff built. This is the marshal's built office.
And you had the snipers there. I think there. I can't remember if there's one there, but definitely the church tower.
What if I sneak down and try and get into the church tower and get up in there and snipe from up there? That's what I do.
That'd be quite good if you could do that. But we don't know what's in the church, do we?
Nope.
We don't. No. But if I went down the left hand side, whilst you cause a bit of a ruckus on the right,
Or just see how far you get without being spotted.
I
Because-
think the problem there is that I am expecting the church to be the headquarters, so I'm expecting that to be quite full.
Well, I don't, because there's a mine behind the church, isn't there?
Yeah, but we've got the preacher as the one that's trying to drum up converts. If he's bringing them back here,
Then you've got
where's
his
he gonna take them?
patchwork followers.
The other thing is, so just a reminder, one of the other things is you're looking for Dr. Hellstrom, who'd gone missing, and you know that he was from Carmichael, that he had been seen in the company of some folks heading down in the general direction of Black Gulch.
Yeah.
And
So
we've
that's the
seen an
other thing.
entrance in the cliff face behind the church direction.
Yes.
From what we
He
saw,
could be in there.
from what we saw, Zed, was one of these like a saloon or a hotel?
Yes.
Was it
Yes.
that one? Was it
Which one you pinging? Ping it again.
one on the
Probably.
right? After was it the one on the right, or was it the one at the left at the end?
Let's have a look.
The one with the glass top, I would guess.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, so it's the one on the. So it's the one that's effectively two buildings down towards the church on the right-hand side. Yes.
So straight after
This
the that one.
No, this one. Sorry.
So
Yeah,
right,
the
okay.
one with the glass roof.
So that's the sheriff's office. That's the one you think is the saloon.
Okay. Because if they've got a lot of contractors here, I'd expect a lot of them to be in there.
Yeah.
See, I don't think, because when we came last time, it wasn't. It was night time when we came last time. I'm sure of it, and there was no sign of life in that sort of sense.
No,
It seemed
but
quite deserted. There's no
I
piano
still
music.
still
There
expect
was-
people to be sleeping there, if anything.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
We weren't making a lot of noise or ruckus at the time, so they wouldn't have. If they were drinking or whatever in there, they wouldn't have heard anything.
No, but there's no tavern music. Yeah, saloon music.
I don't think there would be. I don't think there's going to be any civilians as such in this place.
Just a group of men solemnly sat around a table drinking.
They're hired
Yeah.
guns.
Honestly,
Oh.
if you've hired contractors, they're going to want to enjoy themselves.
Mm.
Sure.
It could be that we just didn't hear it.
That one shout of Yahtzee!
I think the main aim we've got is to find out what's going on in the church and what's going on behind it. And the best way to do that is sneak past everything if we can.
trouble is if we get halfway down, we're surrounded on all sides by potential firepower. So I think we either try and sneak down and get into the church and do it that way, or we just start at this end and clear as we go.
Oh, John Wick style.
That is the thing. That is the thing. It's we either clear this place out completely and hope that we've got enough firepower to clear them out.
If we do that, we walk down the middle of the street because that's more sexy.
Oh no! I don't care about sexy. I care about walking out of here.
Yeah. I don't think we should cause a ruckus. I think we should try and get as far as we can up there.
I get what Seaboard means, though. I
yeah.
exactly the same thing. It's like if we get halfway down here and there's sort of like 30 guys in these houses at the bottom, or even 15 or 10,
yeah,
then we're between a rock and a hard place, aren't we?
Yeah.
So do we just try and sneak down the right-hand side, past the saloon, and then get into the church and deal with it that way? The trouble is, if we get seen halfway down, we're into a firefight.
Yeah.
But if you start this end and start clearing, they know we're there, so they can fortify. But it depends how many's in here. That's the thing.
It's a shame we haven't got remote detonators for the dynamite. That would be so helpful.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Can we just not Google how to make one?
Safest route would be to take someone prisoner, whoever's nearest the start of the town, and interrogate them first. Find out numbers.
That's an option if we can find someone. The big thing is if we're coming in at 3 a.m. in the dark, just before dawn, most people are going to be asleep. So can we get down that far into the church and then take it almost without firing a shot?
Mm-hmm. I think as if you catch somebody and you say, how many people are there? And they say 50. What, do you believe them?
You would just let go and walk off.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, 49 now.
How stealthy are we as a group, though?
Yeah.
See, I'm stealthy.
D6.
Yeah.
8. I just sneak into children's bedrooms.
Although I do have I do have one raise left that I haven't done yet. So.
I'm on the 8 on the stealth, so.
So it's down to the dock, basically. How stealthy is the dock? He's the weak link at the moment without knowing.
Oh, sorry. How healthy is the dock? 1 second. I'm just
Stealthy.
Yeah, give me 30 seconds. I'm just grabbing something. The dock stealth is bada bing, bada boom. Is a D4.
Yeah.
But remember, you're rolling a 6 as well, so.
Yeah.
I will have fresh bennies.
And you'll have fresh bennies, yes.
Which means I'm going to lose my pennies.
All right.
Lots of pennies at the moment.
You haven't spent any. So,
I spent mine.
Yeah, I'm not going to be here next week. I have to go and do an unexpected trip to Belfast, so I will be away Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So we will continue this the week after.
Okay.
Wonderful.
With
Very,
the
very
assault
good.
on Black Gulch.
This innocent farming community.
This innocent, religious, isolated.
Yeah. We were just trying to make a good life for ourselves.
Mehdi, the last farm that we went to had vampires underneath it. Nothing is innocent about farms lately.
I've got one word for you, Mehdi. Zealots.
Zealots, yes.
Yeah.
Little
They're
buggers.
They're corrupting the word of the Lord.
Yep. Blasphemers.
I have my notes. Can I read my notes? Just about? Yes, I can. Well, I hope you all enjoyed tonight. It was an absolute pleasure, as always, running for you guys. It's always interesting to see where the story goes.
No, thank you very much. That was
way
very,
you
very good.
expect it.
Yeah, well, a little bit of tonight wasn't scripted and a bit of it was scripted. So
give us some threads to pull on and we'll find a bit of lint on the floor.
Exactly. I script enough to have an idea and then I change it based on your little threads as you pull on them. So it was a pleasure.
Right.
Thank you.
I'm out of here. Latest people.
Take care. See you in a week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Night, Soren's Art.
Night.
I will see you all later.
Aye, indeed.
Has Dart sorted his character out yet?
And his picture.
We've got his picture. We have got his picture. We know what picture we're using.
Lol.